In a dimly lit warehouse, Ted and Noel stood, bracing themselves for battle. "You better be prepared," Ted shouted, sweat dripping down his brow. He had lost access to his fire magic, now relying on physical enhancement magic. His opponent laughed menacingly. How will Ted fare without his fire magic? I've cornered you." The sound of rodents echoed around them. "Chew, chew, chew. Just give up," the enemy taunted. Ted tightened his fists, his eyes scanning the room, but he couldn't tell who was more of a beast, his opponent or the rodents. Then something caught his attention. "Is that a hole in the wall?" he asked, noticing more holes scattered around the warehouse. "Noel," Ted called, just as Noel fired an ice arrow, missing its mark again. "Why can't I hit it?" Noel cursed under his breath. The rats were fast, quicker than either of them had anticipated. Abel, their mentor, watched the struggle from the sidelines. "Wild creatures are more intuitive and agile than you think," he noted. "Unlike humans, they grew up in an environment where survival wasn't easy." "Teach, please give me some advice," Ted pleaded, frustrated. Abel sighed. "Good grief, it can't be helped. At this rate, you two won't finish the task before sunset." Abel approached the pair, his voice calm but commanding. "What was on your mind when you were chasing them?" Ted hesitated, replying with a sheepish, "I guess." "Don't miss." Abel shook his head. "If you keep thinking like that, you'll never catch them. In hunting, you need to think from the target's perspective." Ted blinked, confused. "In the target's shoes?" Abel nodded. "Imagine being chased by someone shouting, 'I'll kill you.' You want to run, right?" Ted reluctantly agreed. Abel then demonstrated his presence, seemingly vanishing. "People release small amounts of mana just by being alive. Stop this release, and you can erase your presence." Ted and Noel watched in awe as Abel moved with incredible silence. "Once you master this, you can catch them barehanded," Abel said, quickly grabbing one of the rats with ease. "Teach, that's amazing," Ted exclaimed. Abel explained how to visualize the flow of magic through the body and suppress it. Ted and Noel tried, following his instructions. After a few attempts, they caught the remaining rats, with Noel catching 11 and Ted only managing 2. Exhausted, the pair slumped down as Abel tallied their work. "Now, we just need to close the holes in the wall, and the quest will be complete." Ted groaned. "I'm so tired, and I haven't even eaten lunch." Their client appeared soon after. "We've cleaned up the warehouse," Noel announced, but the old man seemed hesitant. Here's your reward. 50,000, Colonel." Ted's face fell. "That's only 1/3 of what you promised." The man wrung his hands. "I only have that much at the moment. Please forgive me." Abel frowned, his mind already calculating. A man like him will keep finding excuses not to pay us the rest. The only way to get our reward is through something else. He eyed the dusty Regalia scattered around the warehouse. "What are you going to do with those?" he asked. "I'm going to dispose of them," the old man grumbled. Abel smirked. "We'll take them off your hands instead." The old man's eyes gleamed, sensing an opportunity. "Well, if you really want them, I guess I can sell them to you." Abel played along, negotiating until the deal was struck. After the transaction, Ted turned to Abel, confused. "Teach, was it really a good idea to buy this junk?" Abel smiled knowingly. "It's all according to plan." A few days after the warehouse sorting event in the capital's East District, a buzz filled the air as the team gathered around a collection of regalia, eagerly preparing to sell them. "What do they intend to do with this junk regalia?" someone questioned, skeptical of the pile. The doubt hung in the air for only a moment before another voice broke through with excitement. "Whoa, this is so exciting, Teach," one of the younger members exclaimed, barely able to contain his enthusiasm. Another more cautious voice chimed in. "Will this junk really sell?" "No problem," the teacher reassured. "I've repaired and remodeled all of them. Their quality is much better than the ones on the street." Pointing to a particular item, the student asked, "What is this cap mark?" With a smile, the teacher explained, that is something I came up with." The preparations were ready, and the team began their demonstration. "All right, I'm counting on both of you," the teacher said with a nod. Nervously, one of the students stepped forward. "I'll do my best." "You can count on me," the other student said, bursting with confidence. They took to the street, eager to grab the attention of passers-by. "Hello, Mr. and Mrs. walking on the street," the more confident one called out. "How about buying our black cat mark Regalia? Everything is very cheap and has outstanding efficiency." A couple of bystanders stopped, curious. Students selling Regalia? That's rare. Trying to convince them, the student demonstrated. "This Regalia is enchanted with sharpness increase. If you use it, as you can see, it can even cut a hard rock like butter." The crowd's interest peaked. Which company made that Regalia? Even Kronos couldn't make it that sharp. The students grinned, sensing their success. Not only that, you can also channel your magic power onto it, converting it into fire or ice magic. It's convenient for both cooking and preserving ingredients. The passers-by were impressed. "No way. You can do that." One eager customer raised his hand. "Please sell one to me." "Me too," another person called out. "I'll buy two." The crowd surged forward, causing a frenzy. Hey, what's happening?" another bystander remarked. At that moment, a familiar voice called out from the crowd. "Huh, you're the boy from before?" He recognized the students from an earlier encounter at his warehouse. "You've got to be kidding me. Aren't those the trash that were in my warehouse?" The students continued with smiles on their faces. "Thank you for your patronage. Don't push. There are plenty of them available to sell." The once skeptical bystanders stared in disbelief. How could this happen? 1 hour later, every single item was sold out. The teacher, still astonished by the success, tallied up the sales. "The sales net us roughly 1 million kernel. We got these by exchanging our 100k call reward, so if we split the profit into 3, each person will get 300k call." The students celebrated, and one of them couldn't help but ask, "Teach, when are we going to do this again?" But the teacher shook his head with a smile. "No, there will be no next time. I have enough money for the time being." That's such a waste." "Are you sure?" The teacher pondered for a moment, then offered some wisdom. "The world is not always as easy as it seems. Listen well, Abelcoin. The nail that sticks out gets hammered in. The key to doing business is not to win too much. The reason our business went so well was because we were students and no one was wary of us. If we start our business for real, others won't stay silent." As they packed up to leave, Abel smiled. "Maybe I should try learning engraving magic next." Elsewhere, a mysterious presence was felt outside the capital. A powerful magic aura filled the air. A servant nervously approached his master, whispering, "Gildina-sama, may I have a moment?" A figure, calm and composed, responded, "Tell him to wait in the drawing room." Moments later, a powerful voice echoed through the halls. "Sorry, I kept you waiting." "No problem," came the reply. "I was enjoying the wonderfully comfortable sofa. But still, you're willing to help us in our research." And with that, the stage was set for the next chapter of their journey. In a dimly lit, high-tech laboratory, Emerson stood before a complex magical apparatus, his brow furrowed in discontent. He glanced at Amo, who was beaming with excitement. "To think that you're willing to help us, Emerson, in our research," Amo began, his voice filled with admiration. Even now, Emerson wasn't enthusiastic. "Your research includes some inhuman practices," he responded, his tone flat but laced with distaste. "I'm not fond of it." Amo chuckled, seemingly unbothered. "Development of magic always comes with sacrifices. The existence of this link regalia that we've created will revolutionize the world." His eyes sparkled with ambition as he explained the purpose of the link regalia, a device connected to a greater system called Mother, allowing those without magic power to wield magic as powerful as seasoned magicians. "With this, the world will be in complete balance," Amo continued. "No more power differences between countries, no more wars. A peaceful world." Emerson's eyes narrowed as he listened. "And then, you'll restore the demon race with the help of Link Regalia, am I right?" His suspicions had long been brewing. "I'm aware you're a demon. You can't hide it from me." Amo's smile faded, but he didn't deny it. "Why help me, despite knowing who I am?" Emerson paused, then answered quietly. "There's a wall I want to overcome. That's why." His voice was cold and determined. The conversation shifted when Amo asked about a particular student who had been directly implanted with the link Regalia. Emerson informed him that the boy was adapting, albeit slowly. Amo, intrigued, requested to see the progress. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the bustling academy, the air was filled with excitement. A school festival was fast approaching, and Ted, one of the students, strutted into the courtyard with a new, stylish hairstyle, hoping to impress. His teacher, Abel, couldn't help but comment, "That's a strange hairstyle." Ted, unfazed, replied with confidence, "Loose and fluffy waves are the trend nowadays, teach. If you want to be popular, you should change your hairstyle too." Zyle, another student, appeared, complimenting Ted's new look and showing off his latest fashionable shoes. The pair bantered about trends and popularity, their minds far from the heavy burdens of magical research. As the day progressed, Abel was reminded of the upcoming school festival dance, where men and women paired up to dance at dawn. Ted, panicking, realized he still hadn't secured a partner. The realization hit hard when Zal mentioned that only 3 of them were left without partners. Ted, determined, turned to his friends. "How about we hit on some girls in front of the station after school?" he proposed, his energy suddenly focused on this new mission. The mix of youthful excitement and the darker, mysterious undertones of Emerson's involvement with the demon race formed the backdrop of a world where magic, ambition, and sacrifice intertwined. It was after school, and Zal was excited about the upcoming break due to the school festival preparations. He turned to Abel with a mischievous grin. "How about we hit on some girls in front of the station after school?" Zal suggested. "We get to go home early since the school festival is near, and the class prep starts tomorrow." Abel, uninterested, responded while reading a book, "Sorry, I'll pass. I have no interest in the dance event. It'll be more worthwhile for me to read this book about Regalia." Frustrated, Zal slammed his hand on the table. "Abel, fix that attitude. Don't you feel like having a social life? Your magic may be top-notch, but if you can't even seduce a single woman, society won't deem you successful." Abel sighed. "There are people who can't seduce women but are still successful, like Emerson." Zal sneered. "Seems like you're a better kind of trash compared to other students." Before Abel could respond, Zyl's praise was interrupted by a loud sneeze. "Achoo!" came a voice from across the room, followed by a giggle. "Is Abel Kuhn talking about me?" Zyl's teasing continued. "Right, you already have someone like a lover in your hometown, don't you?" He paused dramatically. "So you cherish her despite trying to act casual." Abel shifted uncomfortably. "It's no longer like that." Zal leaned closer. "Ep, you got rejected? I guess long-distance relationships are hard to keep." Suddenly, Ted appeared, confused. "What are you two talking about?" Abel quickly cut in. "Actually, Lilith has officially become my lover. But it's better to keep this misunderstanding as it is." Ignoring the awkward moment, Zal changed the subject. "By the way, are teachers allowed to join the dance event?" Abel shrugged. "I've never heard anything about that." Zal gasped. "Teach? Don't tell me. You're trying to duck the dance partner issue by inviting Lilith San to the dance event?" "What? I won't allow it. Aren't we soul brothers?" Abel chuckled. "Since when?" They both laughed, but Zal remained hopeful. "Well, it can't be helped. I'll cooperate with you." "Really? All right." This is the beginning of our story as fellow unpopular men. Zal cheered, fists raised in the air. As they made their way to the station, Zal nudged Ted. "Hey, Ted, go talk to the—" "No way. You go first, Zal-san." Ted stammered. Zal sighed dramatically. "Ted, do you realize we're in an existential crisis?" "What do you mean?" "I just want to go home and read some books," Ted protested. Zal continued. "According to my investigation, if you can't find a dance partner, the chance of you getting a girlfriend is only 8%. What? This moment is our turning point, Ted," Zal declared. Ted, nervous but determined, finally worked up the courage. "Hey, beauties," Ted called out. "Would you like to have lunch with us?" The girls stared at him, unimpressed. "This is shocking. What's with that hair? Come back after you look in the mirror." Ted sighed. "This hairstyle is the newest trend, though." Zal patted him on the back. "You did well, Ted. Let's not give up. Hey, miss, did you perhaps come from the sky?" One of the girls gave him a puzzled look. "Huh? Zal continued with confidence. Because your eyes are gleaming like shining stars. The girl, unimpressed, replied, Sorry, I'm in a hurry. She walked away quickly, leaving Zyle and Ted in disbelief. Well, that was painful to watch, Ted muttered. Just as things were winding down, Abel noticed a girl standing nearby. She looked friendly, possibly waiting for someone. Abel decided to give it a shot. Excuse me, lady, Abel said softly. The girl, startled, turned to him. Why, yes? What is it? Abel smiled. I'm actually looking for a good place to have lunch, but I don't know much about this area. I'd be very grateful if you could guide me. The girl blushed. It'd be my pleasure. I know a place where they have delicious sandwiches. Thank you, Abel replied. As Abel's conversation seemed to be going well, a dark presence caught his attention. Killing intent, dense magic power, not human. He immediately realized who it was. Lilith. Abel quickly faked a stomach ache. I'm sorry, my stomach suddenly hurts. I'll have to cancel the lunch. The girl looked concerned. Are you okay? Yeah, but I'm sorry. Let's do this another time, Abel said, trying to maintain his composure. Just as Abel turned to leave, Ted and Zyle rushed over. Teach, what's wrong? Run, you two. Now, Abel commanded. Zyle, confused, asked, Why? You were so close in picking up that girl. Abel's eyes widened as he saw Lilith approaching. I'll explain later. Just run for now. Lilith appeared behind them, her voice echoing with amusement. You fufu. What were you three doing just now? In the grand setting of the royal capital's western district, Ely was waiting anxiously for her friend. Ely-chan, a cheerful voice called out, breaking the tension in the air. Thanks for waiting. Ely turned to see her friend, grinning from ear to ear. Well then, let's start the meeting. Now then, tell me your progress with Abel-kun, her friend urged, leaning in with excitement. Ely sighed, her expression deflated. Well, there's nothing in particular to report. Nothing, her friend exclaimed, her eyes widening in disbelief. After all, the research club is temporarily closed because the school festival is approaching. I don't have the opportunity to talk to him. Ely-chan, you're too naive, her friend admonished, shaking her head. Your thinking is too naive and sweet, just like that of chocolate brownies. To be honest, your current situation is really not good. You have Noel as your powerful rival. On top of that, Abel-kun's popularity among girls is skyrocketing. Ely felt a wave of anxiety wash over her. I know that. What should I do to get closer to Abel? I've already prepared a special plan for Ely-chan, who is in love, her friend declared, eyes gleaming with determination. In short, why don't you invite him as your dance partner? According to my research, she continued, there's a maximum of 60% chance that the people who dance together at the school festival will become a couple within a month. Ely's brow furrowed. Can it fluctuate? Well, certainly. It's very likely that the dance pairs would get caught in the mood and become a couple. But a lot of girls are chasing Abel, right? Won't he already have a partner by now? I've already researched about that, her friend reassured her. Abel-kun is currently looking for a dance partner as we speak. Ely's spirits lifted at the news. Really? All right. I'm going to do my best, she declared, determination flashing in her eyes. Good luck, Ely-chan, her friend cheered. Meanwhile, in the Eastern District, tension hung in the air. What were you three doing just now? Lilith-sensei's voice rang out, stern and unforgiving. Lilith-sensei, one of the students stammered. No excuses, she warned, her gaze piercing. You know that illicit sexual relationships are inexcusable, right? Her lecture will take a long time if we get caught. Let's split up and run in 3 different directions. Oh, okay, they agreed, hearts racing. In 3, 2, 1. Just then, a figure suddenly vanished, causing a ripple of shock among the others. Ted, I've caught you, Zalcoin. Wait for me in the place where you were before. And don't even think of running. Am I clear? Lilith commanded, her presence looming like a shadow. Meanwhile, Ted was aware of the danger. Looks like he still remembers how to erase his presence, he thought, trying to remain unnoticed. What was that just now? Despite his efforts, he knew he was only partially successful. In that current state, Lilith would still be able to find me easily. Suddenly he heard, "There, I've caught you, Ted Quinn." "Eek! I'm sorry," he yelped, surprised. Now, the atmosphere shifted as Abel appeared, confidently erasing his presence completely. As expected of Abel-sama, he has completely erased his presence, someone observed, impressed. "That surprised me. That was quite a strong wind. He's on that way. I'm going to erase my presence as well." Another murmured, realizing the situation was getting serious. They arrived at the Leuven Memorial Clock Tower. "I've actually been wanting to go here once," one of them exclaimed, marveling at the scenery. "My fluffy wave hair got all messed up." Another complained, glancing in a nearby mirror. "It's the newest trending hairstyle. So that hairstyle is really popular." Suddenly, commotion erupted outside. "What's with all the ruckus outside? I wonder if something happened." "Are you okay?" a voice interrupted, startling them. "That was close. I almost crashed into her." "She's caught up to me," he realized, glancing back. "Looks like it's pointless to continue running. It's my win. This kiss would be my prize, Fufu, Abel-sama." "You went easy on me, didn't you?" Abel replied, a teasing smile on his face. "Of course. If I were to set serious, this whole area would get blown away," he laughed. "You're right. Now, let's head back to where Ted Quinn and Zhao Quinn are at." "All right, Abel-sama. Even though you did that to search for a dance partner, I still don't want you to make advances on other women," one of them said, her eyes narrowed in concern. "Looks like she's seen through it all," Abel thought, feeling a pang of guilt. "I understand," he replied. Thus, the first event of picking up girls ended up in failure. The school festival was fast approaching, yet the class was still unable to settle on a theme. Ted stood up first, passionately declaring, "Haunted Mansion is better, and that's not negotiable." Eliza, clearly unimpressed, countered, "Haunted Mansion is already old-fashioned. We should go with a stylish pancake cafe." Ted, stubborn as ever, shot back, "Haunted Mansion. Definitely pancake." Eliza insisted, crossing her arms. Zal rolled his eyes, clearly frustrated, and barked at Eliza, "You're so persistent." Eliza fired back, "The same goes to you." Just as the tension reached a boiling point, Yukari piped up, "How about we vote? By the way, I'm voting for pancake. That way, I can ogle at Ili-chan's cute." He trailed off with a mischievous grin, earning a few giggles. The class fell silent. When the votes were tallied, it ended in a tie. "No way," Eliza exclaimed. "One student is absent, so we should have an odd number in total." Zal pointed out, "There's still someone who hasn't voted." "Abel, which one will you vote for?" Ted and Eliza's eyes darted toward Abel. "Of course, you'll vote for Haunted Mansion, right?" Ted urged. "Please vote for Pancake, Abel Cohen." Eliza pleaded. Abel sighed, clearly torn. "This is getting troublesome. If I vote for Haunted Mansion, I'll incur the girls' contempt. If I vote for Pancake, I'll incur the boys' contempt." A moment of silence passed as Abel considered his options. Then, an idea struck him. "How about we wear ghost outfits while baking pancakes?" The class blinked in confusion. "It might sound absurd," Abel continued, "but we don't have that much time left. By doing it this way, everyone's opinions are accounted for, and we can present something that we'll all be satisfied with." The combination of Haunted Mansion and Pancake, the Haunted Pancake theme. Eliza's eyes widened in realization. "That sounds wonderful, doesn't it?" Zhao grinned. "Then, I take it that everyone agrees to Abel's idea?" No one objected. The class was united at last. As preparations for the festival kicked into high gear, Eliza approached Abel, a bit hesitant. "Abel, do you already have a dance partner for the dance event?" Abel shook his head. "No, not yet." Eliza's cheeks flushed slightly. "Do you want to dance with me?" Just as Abel was about to respond, a voice interrupted. "Abel, it was Noelle. She rarely came to the classroom, so her sudden appearance surprised everyone." "I want to dance with you too," Noelle declared. "It'll definitely be more fun to dance with me rather than with Eliza." Eliza was quick to defend herself. "Hey, I invited him first." Noelle shrugged, nonchalant. "The order doesn't matter. The important thing is how Abel feels about it." Eliza, desperate, turned to Abel. What will you do?" "Abel, what do you want to do?" Abel, flustered, tried to dodge the question. "I want to bring this to the classroom." "Don't dodge the question," both Eliza and Noelle shouted in unison. Sighing, Eliza offered a solution. "Then let's have a dance battle. The winner will dance with Abel at the school festival." Abel tried to protest, but the two girls were already getting ready. The location was moved to the large auditorium to avoid disturbing those preparing for the festival. Ted, curious, followed them to the auditorium along with Zyle. "Why are you two here?" Abel asked, confused by their presence. Ted smirked. "I was curious, so I followed. As expected of Teach. You're so popular," Zyle teased. "Are you betraying your fellow unpopular men? I thought our bonds would last forever." Eliza cleared her throat. "You guys will be the judges to see which one is more suitable to be Abel's dance partner." "All right, let's start." Eliza stepped onto the dance floor, starting from the left foot. 1, 2, 3. Ted was impressed. "Oh, she's good." Zyle nodded in agreement. "Eliza-san is good at sports, after all." Next up was Noelle. "My turn," she said confidently. She was a bit unsteady, but her determination was clear. "Now it's time to choose," Eliza announced. Ted scratched his head. "It's hard to choose." Zyle cast his vote. "Ich choose nu." Ted hesitated. "I'm leaning towards Eliza." Eliza and Noelle both looked expectantly at Abel. "Which one will you choose, Abel?" they asked in unison. Abel, feeling the pressure, suggested, "Can I dance with both of you? There are 2 parts in the dance event. One of you can dance with me in the first part, and the other in part 2. Just like when we decided on the class theme, combining opinions worked well." Both girls seemed satisfied with the compromise. At the school festival, the first one to see Abel will be his dance partner in part 1. "Is that fine?" Eliza proposed. Noelle nodded. "Okay." Zyle grinned, turning to Ted. "What a nice idea, Teach. How about you dance with me when you're not dancing with Abel?" Both Eliza and Noelle shot back simultaneously. "No thanks." Zyle pouted. "Damn, why does Abel get all the good things?" As the 2 girls walked away, each with their own plans for the dance, Abel couldn't help but feel a little overwhelmed by the attention. But at least, for now, the class was united and ready for the festival. It was almost time for the much-anticipated school festival, and the excitement was palpable. Ted and Abel arrived at the festival grounds, eyes wide with amazement at the decorations. "School festival on the corner," Abel shouted with enthusiasm. Ted smiled, nodding in agreement. "It's looking really nice. There are only a handful of days before it starts." Suddenly, a familiar voice interrupted their moment. "Abel-kun, you're finally here." Eliza beamed, waving at him. "Oh, you're here too, Ted-kun," she added, turning to Ted with a slightly embarrassed look. Ted scratched his head nervously. What is it? Are you perhaps inviting me to be your partner in the dance event?" Eliza giggled. "Just get in and try the outfit." Abel raised an eyebrow, curious. The outfit. Minutes later, Abel emerged in a sleek uniform. Eliza's eyes sparkled as she clapped her hands. "It looks so good on you, Abel-kun. You'll look perfect as a receptionist in that outfit." Ted laughed, looking at his own flamboyant attire. "How about me?" he asked, raising his arms to show off. Abel hesitated. "How should I put this? It's very unique. But isn't it a bit too flashy for me?" "HMPF. I think it looks nice," Eliza teased. "I prefer the cool Abel, but since you'll be the receptionist, a friendly appearance is important." Abel grinned. "Maybe I should be the vampire instead." Ted chuckled, shaking his head. "To think the day has come when you'd effectively use your shoes." Just then, Eliza appeared in her own costume, a sleek black cat outfit. Abel froze, eyes wide. How do I look?" "Abel-kun?" she asked, her face flushed. Abel nodded quickly, trying to find words. "Why, yeah, it looks great on you." "Thank you," Eliza replied, shyly twirling in place. Abel muttered under his breath, "A black cat outfit." His nickname 200 years ago was the golden-eyed black cat. "These outfits are so elaborate," Abel exclaimed. "Yep, most of the designs were made by Yukari-san," Ted confirmed, clearly impressed. Eliza playfully nudged Ted. "You're so cute, Ili-chan." She smiled back, her thoughts drifting toward the upcoming festivities. "How about the pancakes?" she asked. "The cooking team is practicing as we speak." "I'd say they're doing an outstanding job," Ted replied, looking toward the bustling kitchen area. Abel said, satisfied. "There are only a few days left before the school festival starts. Let's make this a big success." Meanwhile, in a distant, dark chamber, Gultina-sama had other plans. "How are things?" he asked as he entered the control room. The technician, startled, stood at attention. "Gultina-sama, I didn't notice you coming in." The synchronization rate has already exceeded 92%. It's only a matter of time before he's fully synchronized. Giltina smirked. I see. It won't be long now. The day to realize our long-yearned wish is approaching. He reminisced. When the heroes defeated the demon Lord of Dusk, most of the demons perished alongside him. Though we've increased our numbers over 200 years, it's nowhere near enough. That's why I decided to use humans who harbor negative feelings as our soldiers. Soldiers willing to throw their lives for demons. Just then, Base appeared. Giltina-san, I have good news for you. The day of announcement that you've been looking forward to has been decided. We're going to attack Arcelia Magic Academy on the day of the school festival, Base revealed. Giltina's eyes gleamed. Magic Academy, you have issues with someone there, right? That's right. Base replied darkly, his voice trembling. Abel. Be ill. Suddenly, alarms blared in the lab. There's an abnormal reaction to the synchronization rate. 100, 150, 200, 300. I can't believe this. For 100%? A technician screamed. Gra! A monstrous voice roared from the chamber. What are you doing? Hurry up and increase the amount of sedatives. Giltina barked. Yes, sir. The technician obeyed, frantically adjusting the controls. Damn this lab rat. He scared me for a moment. Increase the strength of his restraints. Giltina clenched his fists. I'll have you dance under my palm, Base, and all those humans. I can't wait to show my strength to the world. As the dark conspiracy steadily progressed, no one at the school festival knew the storm that was coming. It was the opening day of the school festival, and Abel found himself in front of a rather unusual booth. A large banner welcomed him with bold letters. Welcome, T.O., the haunted pancake. The event was in full swing, and the promise of delicious pancakes combined with a thrilling haunted experience was enough to catch anyone's attention. A cheerful voice greeted Abel. How are you, Abel-kun? What do you want? Abel raised an eyebrow at the familiar figure standing before him, trying to maintain his composure. The teacher continued. Oh, come on, no need to make such a scary face. I'm just doing my rounds. The teacher's grin didn't seem to waver, even as he added, Unfortunately, we're full right now. Please go somewhere else. Abel, not in the mood to argue, sighed. Fine, he muttered, preparing to leave, but the teacher called out. But wait, I have something to tell you first. Don't go home too early today. You'll witness something interesting. Abel, still unimpressed, asked, What's that supposed to mean? With a cryptic smile, the teacher replied, It's better to save the best for last, don't you think? It's too soon to give you all the details, but today, you will witness the conclusion of my eons-long research and the potential of modern magic. As he considered leaving, one of the students announced, Hey, there's an empty seat available now. Why don't you have a taste of our pancakes? Abel paused, then smirked. Pancakes, huh? I actually love sweet food, so I'll be a harsh critic. The student nodded enthusiastically. Don't hold back. Go all out for this customer. Abel sat down, sensing the odd mixture of a pancake cafe and a haunted mansion atmosphere around him. It's not a normal cafe, he muttered to himself. Just as Abel started to relax, an unsettling presence filled the room. Emerson, another teacher, stumbled in, frantically looking around. You've entered a den full of hungry beasts, a voice warned from behind him. Emerson paled, realizing he'd wandered into a group of students who weren't particularly fond of him. I'm going to use my night vision regalia, he yelled, only to scream as the students played tricks on him in the darkness. Meanwhile, Abel sat in the cafe, unbothered by the chaos around him. As the festival continued, he reflected on the earlier conversation. He knew something big was coming, and his instincts told him the enemies they would face weren't ordinary humans. He was right. Abel had already confirmed there were about 20 enemies scattered throughout the festival grounds, and they weren't normal at all. Later, as the dance party began, Abel sighed. I'll have to apologize to Eliza and Noel later, he thought, but before he could leave, a soft voice interrupted him. Abel-sama, how about we dance together? He glanced over at Lilith, who smiled mischievously. The first person you meet gets to dance with you, right? Abel was surprised she knew about that. She continued, We have time until the enemy makes their move. Why not enjoy ourselves for a little while? Reluctantly, Abel agreed. Just for a little bit, okay? Meanwhile, Eliza was searching for him, muttering to herself, I need to find Abel before Noel does. Eliza searched for Abel, wondering where he might be. Where are you, Abel? She thought. Abel typically avoided crowds, so she assumed he might be on the second floor. Using body-strengthening magic, she ascended quickly. As she landed, Noel appeared, a bit shaken. What are you doing, Noel? Have you calmed down? Eliza asked. Yes. Thank you for saving me earlier, Noel replied, still uneasy. You're welcome, Eliza responded, though the air between them felt awkward. Eliza's thoughts drifted to Abel. If Noel hasn't found him either, what should I do to make Abel notice me? She felt a pang of insecurity, admitting to herself that she'd been too focused on her appearance, hoping Abel would choose her for that alone. There's no point in competing with looks, Noel interrupted her thoughts. Abel's eyes see much deeper than that. I think you're right, Eliza admitted. There's something about Abel. I believe he has a secret he can't tell anyone. I feel that way too, Noel agreed. He's far from ordinary. Before he even joined our Celia Academy, Abel's life seemed different. If we can't earn his trust enough to know his secret, then being his lover is just a distant dream, Eliza realized, feeling embarrassed for her earlier shallowness. She confessed, I've only thought about myself. How Abel would feel never even crossed my mind. Noel reassured her. If you've realized that, you can still change. Yeah, you're right. I'll do my best, even if it takes another year, Eliza declared, her confidence returning. I won't lose to you, Noel. But before they could continue, a loud noise erupted from downstairs. What's happening? It's so noisy. Wait, an explosion? Panic spread through the academy. Suddenly, a voice boomed. Don't move. This academy is now under our control. Amo. Why are they attacking our Celia Academy? Eliza gasped. Chaos erupted as students and faculty fought back using magic. Fire spells, wind edges, and ice storms filled the air. However, Amo's power was formidable, repelling even the strongest attacks. What's with their abilities? Eliza exclaimed. Their regalia. It must be the source of their strength. Just as things seemed hopeless, a black mist enveloped the area. The mysterious mist began neutralizing Amo's attacks, giving the students a chance to escape. That mist is helping us, Eliza realized. Noel stepped forward determined. Leave it to me. Everyone this way. She led the others toward an evacuation passage. Lilith, controlling the black mist, bought them precious time, but their enemies weren't done yet. I won't let you run away, one of the AMO leaders growled, struggling to move within the mist's grip. Yet even he couldn't break free. Meanwhile, a new threat emerged. A demon with a massive amount of magic power. Abel felt a chill as she sensed its presence. What is this formidable opponent? He wondered, realizing the battle had just begun. In the midst of chaos, a thick mist enveloped the academy grounds. Confusion spread as panicked students and staff tried to understand what was happening. What's with this mist? Someone shouted, their voice barely audible over the commotion. A voice of authority rang out. Please keep calm and evacuate in an orderly fashion, everyone. As the confusion deepened, another voice muttered, What's happening? Suddenly, a figure appeared in the principal's office, seemingly out of nowhere. You must be Principal Mikhail. Sorry for intruding, the stranger said with a sinister calmness. The principal's eyes widened in shock. This office should be protected by an advanced magic barrier. How did you get in? Who are you? The intruder's lips curled into a dark smile. I am the demon General Giltina, the right-hand man of the demon Lord of Dusk. Principal Mikhail staggered back in disbelief. Why is there a demon in my academy? Giltina's expression turned menacing. You already know the answer. It's to eliminate the hero's bloodlines and fulfill our grand ambition. Before anyone could react, the air crackled with tension. Break! Wind shield! The principal attempted to defend himself, but Giltina laughed mockingly. How weak? You're too weak. To think my plan to weaken humanity is working so well. I didn't just burn the grimoires and erase the ancient magic. I also spread the stereotype of magic being a tool for war and stirred up conflict between humans. It was all for the sake of our ambitions. Giltina's voice darkened as he looked at Mikhail. Now, there are only two people left who are the descendants of the heroes. Suddenly, another figure burst into the room. "Excuse me. Sorry for intruding," the newcomer said, with an intense gaze directed at Giltina. Giltina turned with a scowl. "Who are you?" The tension escalated. "Looks like he's still alive," the newcomer observed calmly. "What? Impossible," Giltina growled. "There's no way I'm slower than a mere human." But there was no denying it. The stranger was using a regalia, compensating for his weakened power from old age. "This is the first time I've seen a demon using a regalia," he commented, sizing Giltina up. "Looks like he's not that strong. Around 6 to 7 out of 10. In desperation, Giltina lashed out. "Crap. You're going to tell me everything, from your aim in attacking this academy to information about your organization." But it was too late. The stranger retaliated swiftly. "Die," he commanded, his movements swift and calculated. Giltina's cane was a mere diversion, leaving him no choice but to defend himself poorly. As Giltina struggled, he muttered, "Too bad. I wanted to extract information out of him. I am possible to a mere human brat? Did I just lose?" But the battle wasn't over. The stranger stood tall, his golden eyes gleaming with a mysterious power. "You can still talk, huh? You sure are tough," he remarked coldly. Giltina's eyes widened in horror. "Those shining golden eyes, are you the legendary magician, the golden black cat?" "I am the demon general, Giltina," the demon roared in fury. "This wound on my forehead was inflicted by you 200 years ago. I'll have my revenge. I'll kill you. I'll definitely kill you." The stranger narrowed his eyes as recognition dawned. "Demon General. I remember now. He was the Demon Lord's aide." Without hesitation, the stranger summoned his servant. "My servant, come forth. Now kill that guy." A voice answered, "Yes, my master." And with that, the battle took an even darker turn as base. The servant entered the fray. The battle raged as the air echoed with a piercing shout. "No? D." In an instant, a fierce sonic boom shook the ground, and one of the fighters recognized that power and speed. "It's not normal. This is going to be troublesome." In response, he conjured up his counter. "Wind Bullet. I'll defend against his magic using magic of the same attribute." "Wind Shield." Laughter erupted from the aggressor as his magic struck. "Guahaha! I did it. I hit you with my magic." However, his opponent wasn't easily defeated. Managed to avoid being fatally injured, but good grief. "This is the first time in 200 years I've been hit by magic directly." "Heal." But something was wrong. The defender noticed. It happened again. "I thought I activated my magic perfectly, but it suddenly malfunctioned." He observed his enemy closely. "Is that a regalia on his right eye?" "Most likely, the moment that I glows, it nullifies my magic." As if reading his thoughts, the attacker smirked. "Looks like you've noticed. This magic canceller is a special regalia given to me by my master to defeat you." The defender remained unfazed. "I've never heard of such a regalia, but I can guess what it does. A counter magic that analyzes the opponent's magic and sends the opposite syntax to nullify it." With renewed confidence, the attacker launched forward. "Eat this." Magic canceller. But his opponent anticipated the move. "Body strengthening magic, leg strengthening." "Too slow," he taunted. "You're too slow. Inferior eyes." The attacker roared in pride. "Ka-ha-ha! Did you see that, Black Cat? That's the power of our regalia. You'll witness the conclusion of my years of research and the potential of modern magic." His opponent remained calm, musing, the decisive difference from traditional regalia is their firepower. But that regalia is clearly releasing more power than Base's ability. If so, suddenly the attacker base snapped. "Abel, everything in my life would have been great if only you didn't exist." He declared, "I won." But to his shock, his enemy was still standing. "What? How could you use magic? The magic canceller didn't work?" Panic set in as he realized. My gauntlet and my wings aren't working too. What's the meaning of this? I'm a perfect being. I should be undefeated. Abel stepped forward, calm but resolute. Base, clench your teeth. Despite being enemies, Abel recognized Base's resilience. He's quite tenacious. He's challenged me 3 times. His talent of never giving up deserves praise. Base's fury flared. Impossible. What did you do, Black Cat? It's simple, Abel explained. Base's counter magic isn't active at all times. He only activates it when I try to use my magic. That's why I didn't show him any movements of casting magic. Before his attack hit me, I analyzed his regalias and nullified them. Realizing his defeat, Base panicked. W8, you'll regret it if you kill me. If you let me go, I'll give you the blueprints for our regalia. I'm sure it interests you as a magic researcher. Abel raised an eyebrow. I am interested, but I can roughly guess how it works. It's probably sending magic formulas from other remotely linked regalia. Earlier, I only did a simple analysis and could remove their link from the other regalias. Besides, if I want to know more, I could ask someone else who's more informed about it. As such, I don't need to rely on you. Abel stepped closer, his voice cold. Now, do you have any last words? Base pleaded. Please wait. Maybe we could come to an understanding. We might be a human and a demon, but we should be able to understand each other. But Abel's eyes darkened. Remember now, as soon as the Demon King's army showed signs of losing 200 years ago, you were the first to run away, weren't you? I don't trust a coward who only prioritizes his own safety. Base screamed in terror. Gaia, please stop. Why are you doing this? I'll give you anything you want. But Abel was unmoved. You are so noisy, even until the end. Reflecting on the battle, Abel thought, demons too are not all the same. But at the same time, there are demons like Base who amass power, intending to drive humans away. Since Base is involved, Giltina must be related to Amo. I hope they will change their mind after this. Suddenly, a voice called out, Aniki, are you here? What is this? The battle, it seemed, was over, but the consequences had just begun. Ted was in shock. Teach, I'm surprised you knew he was here, he stammered, his voice trembling with urgency. Teach, what happened? I saw Nichan fly here, but Abel interrupted him, more serious than ever. More importantly, what's going on? Nichan's body has become a machine. Ted's eyes widened. No way. Abel continued. Base was being manipulated by a demon once again. At this rate, he won't be able to live a normal life. Desperate, Ted asked, what do we do? I need your help to return his body to its original form. Can you help me? That goes without saying. Ted responded, determined. I'll do anything within my power. Then let's move to another location. Others might come here like you did if we stay. As they moved, Abel handed Ted something. What's that? It's the necessary material to create a human body. Ted gasped. Create a human body? You can do that. In fact, I had the experience of creating a body that imitated my childhood body 200 years ago, Abel said calmly. But I still need more materials. Ted, you said you'd do anything, right? Yes. I'll do anything if it's to return Nichan's body. All right, no going back on your words now. Stay still. It'll be dangerous if you move. Abel raised his hand. Wind edge. Ted felt a gust of wind rush past him, and suddenly his hair was gone. My fluffy wave hair, he exclaimed. I'm sorry, but I don't have enough protein, Abel said apologetically. With Giltina's arm, Ted's hair, and Base genetic information, Abel used his magic. This should be good enough. The process was grotesque, but finally, Abel completed it. If I remove the machinery part of his body and replace it with the one I created, it's done. Ted rushed over. Nichan, thank goodness. He let out a sigh of relief. Let him rest for a while, Abel advised. I'll make adjustments if a problem occurs. All that's left is to erase his memories of the last few days. Ted looked at Abel, concern in his voice. Teach is the organization that did this to Nichan? It's probably AMO, Abel replied. The terrorists who attacked the academy have already been caught. I'm sure their headquarters will be under investigation soon. So, Nichan won't be manipulated by bad guys anymore? Ted asked, hope filling his voice. Abel's response was uncertain. That depends on him. I hope that's the case. Just then Lilith appeared. So you were here, Lilith, Abel said, acknowledging her presence. Abel-sama, she greeted him. Thanks for your hard work. You too, Abel replied. Well done protecting them. It's a teacher's duty to protect their students, after all. Lilith smiled, teasingly. Did you come all the way here just to ask for my praise? Am I not allowed to do that? Abel asked, smiling softly. No, I'm happy, she said. But don't you have someone else you need to meet right now? Abel sighed. Are you referring to Emerson? Eliza. Well, he does need to be interrogated, but that can wait. Those girls have also worked hard today. I didn't expect things to turn out this way, Eliza said, a bit wistful. I'm tired. In the end, I didn't manage to dance with Abel. Just as she thought she was hallucinating from exhaustion, Abel's voice broke through. Hey, Eliza Noel. Abel? They both cried, shocked. Why are you coming from the sky? I had a problem that I needed to take care of, Abel explained. I'm sorry I couldn't make it. I want to make amends for that, but it's already late. I have an idea, if you don't mind. Meanwhile, far southeast from the academy, on Astra Island, a shadowy figure stood watching. Kane-sama, a voice reported, it seems Abel-senpai has defeated Giltina. Kane remained unbothered. I know what you're about to say, Iane. I have their fight recorded in my Shikigami. Do you want to see it? Iane shook her head. No need. I had one of my eyes on him. Kane smiled darkly. Politicians, royalty, demons, researchers. I have thousands of my eyes on all of them. All the important people are under my surveillance. There is no information I cannot find. But rather than all those, what I truly want is... His voice trailed off as he made a decision. I was planning to watch a little more from the sidelines, but I can't wait anymore. I'm going to greet Senpai directly next time. On the night of the school festival, Abel found himself in a bit of a predicament. He had originally promised to dance with Eliza and Noel, but an enemy attack had forced him to break that promise. To make amends, he decided to take them out on a date. A date with the girls, he thought, recalling his promise. It's the least I can do for breaking my word. Although Abel had told himself that this date was to show appreciation for their hard work, he couldn't help but feel a little nervous. Silly me. I should never underestimate those maidens in love, Abel mumbled, thinking about the dedication Eliza and Noel had shown. While Abel was trying to keep things balanced, especially with the whole matter of taking care of base, he was quickly asked, Are you not going to invite Ted-kun? To that, Abel replied, Noel and Eliza seemed to want to go out with me alone, but I set a condition. I'd only go if all three of us go together. He was being careful, trying not to give the wrong impression, but part of him just wanted a calm day. I just don't want to play tag in the middle of the city anymore, he added with a sigh. As the conversation continued, Lilith hugged Abel, catching him off guard. Please go on a date with me next time as well, she asked, her eyes full of hope. Yeah, sure, Abel said with a gentle smile. The next day arrived. As Abel waited for them, Eliza's voice rang out. Abel, sorry to keep you waiting. Where are we going today? We're going to the recently opened magic area, Abel replied. It's an amusement facility that uses the best magic technology. People who can and can't use magic can enjoy it together. Eliza and Noel exchanged glances, realizing that this wasn't just an ordinary date. Abel continued explaining the magic games, showing them how they worked. For example, this game lets you shoot magic bullets at moving targets. If you pour your magic power into it, you can even curve the trajectory. The girls were intrigued, and Abel proposed a 2-versus-1 match. How about Eliza and Noel team up against me? Okay, they agreed eagerly. Despite their excitement, Eliza couldn't help but think, I actually want to team up with Abel, but given the difference in our abilities, this is the best choice. The game began, and Abel's skill was undeniable. His speed in pouring magic power into the bullets was too fast for Eliza and Noel to keep up. He's sabotaging our bullets while hitting the targets, Noel exclaimed. Even though they tried hard, Abel was too quick and too precise. I overdid it, Abel thought to himself as he saw the girls struggling. Let's move on to the next game. Eliza, determined to appeal to Abel, whispered, I need to show him something. Anything. But no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't stand out. Abel's too amazing. I can't appeal to him at all, she sighed. Abel noticed their fatigue. Are you too tired? Should we take a break? Yes, let's take a break, they both replied, worn out but happy. As they rested, enjoying some food, Noel remarked, it was just the three of us when we visited Kronos too. Abel's expression changed slightly. What happened to the job offer from Kronos? Eliza asked curiously. It became unclear, Abel answered. But I didn't plan on joining them anyway. Is that so? Noel responded, feeling it might have been a wasted opportunity. Even when their security robot caused major damage and their leader went missing, they managed to regroup and create a facility like this. Abel nodded thoughtfully. It makes sense that Kronos would be involved here. Their technology is advanced, but their leader's disappearance, it's a bit worrying. My friend from 200 years ago, Iane, used a method to stay alive and appeared before me, made of clay. Kronos' leader must not have returned after that. Despite their accomplishments, Abel knew Kronos had taken a big loss because of him. They might hold a grudge against me. We shouldn't stay here too long. Before they could move on to the next activity, a stranger approached. I've finally found you, the figure said, eyes fixed on Abel. You're the one called Abel, right? We're here to get our revenge. Hey, you're the one called Abel, right? One of them shouted, cutting through the chatter of the cafe. The atmosphere shifted, tension palpable as Abel's heart raced. He recognized the insignia on their uniforms. They're the same uniforms as the terrorists yesterday. So they're from AMO, he thought, recalling the chaos they had caused. Why are they searching for Abel? His companion whispered wide-eyed. They're probably here because I defeated their boss, Abel replied, trying to maintain his composure. Just then, one of the men, clearly agitated, barked at a waiter. Sir, you're disturbing the other customers. Huh, say that again, the man roared, his voice echoing ominously throughout the cafe. He surveyed the scene with contempt. Oh, this is a magic facility that Kronos made. What an eyesore. Let's crush it. Please don't, the waiter stammered, stepping back in fear. Get lost, another man shouted, and suddenly chaos erupted. Abel quickly assessed the situation. Everyone, this way, he called out, ushering the patrons towards the exits. Please evacuate all the customers. Go with them, both of you, and wait outside. Okay, his companion responded, rushing to help. As the last of the customers fled, Abel turned to face the intruders. I guess I'll deal with them in the meantime, he muttered, determination in his eyes. Good grief, how troublesome, he sighed, clenching his fists. Come at me, all of you. One of the men sneered. Underestimating us, huh? Nullify magic, another commanded. And with a flick of his wrist, the magic in the air fizzled out. Damn it, everything is being nullified, Abel thought, frustration mounting as he felt his own powers wane. The lead assailant shouted, You're using Regalia? Huh? Magic is evil. Magic needs to be eliminated. Those are AMO's beliefs. Don't you think you're contradicting them by using that? AMO's predecessor organization upheld anti-magic ideology, and over the years, they regressed magic. Abel shot back, anger flaring. But look at you. What you have been doing is just an act of terrorism that relies entirely on magic. Shut up. Magic is dangerous, the man retorted, veins bulging with rage. That's why it shouldn't be used by idiots. Guiltina, let us use it for the sake of a peaceful world. One of the men shouted, revealing their allegiance to the infamous Guiltina, the mastermind behind the regression of magic. Those fools are nothing more than pawns used for the restoration of the demons, Abel thought, anger boiling within him. Abel's companion, Eliza, murmured, I wonder if Abel is okay. It's Abel we're talking about. He should be fine, Noel replied, confidence seeping into her voice. I've always been protected by Abel, even though I want to stand as his equal, Eliza thought, determination strengthening her resolve. Suddenly, a loud explosion echoed through the cafe, shaking the walls. Abel, Eliza cried, her heart racing. I won't let you steal a march, Abel shouted, charging forward. Also, I'd be worried if you went by yourself. Now that the customers had all been evacuated, Abel felt a weight lift off his shoulders. What should I do? He pondered aloud. When Kronos sent their assassins, I could get off scot-free, but when it comes to commoners, I want to avoid hurting them if possible. Don't worry, I took care of the matter when you hurt our members, the leader sneered, but Abel could sense the fear beneath his bravado. To begin with, things wouldn't have turned that way if you hadn't instigated it. Besides, if I destroy the building, Emerson will come flying to give me a piece of his mind. I don't want to owe him any more than this. Just then, Eliza and Noel rushed back into the cafe. Confusion etched on their faces. Why are you back? Abel asked, surprised. That's the shooting game, Noel said, piecing together a plan. I see. If you can erase our magic, then we'd just have to hit you directly, Abel shouted, feeling a surge of hope. Body strengthening, huh? One of the assailants muttered, but it was too late. Abel and his companions launched into action. Ow! My leg, it's numb, one of the men cried out, as Abel used material reduction to disable their regalia. The battle was fierce, but Abel's group worked as a cohesive unit. The case is closed. We did it! Noel cheered, exhilaration evident in her voice. The bullet's power is adjusted, so it won't injure people. Moreover, the wall is made from material that absorbs magic, so it won't be destroyed, Eliza explained, her mind racing with strategies. Well done. You thought this through, Abel praised, pride swelling in his chest. We finally managed to impress Abel. Yes, they cheered, their spirits high. Though, those bullets aren't supposed to be shot at people, Noel added, her expression softening. Please do not shoot at people, Eliza echoed, her heart racing. However, we managed to end the case without hurting anyone or damaging the building. Magic is all about who is using it and how they use it. This moment shows exactly that, Abel concluded, his eyes gleaming with determination. As the dust settled, Abel turned to his friends, knowing that together they could face any challenge that lay ahead.